Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Yet here you are with your, who's that? Oh yeah, your white husband. So does what you were saying apply to him too, or? Damn, that's tough.
This is who they chose to play Nani and Lulu instead. Lighter than Nani. What is happening? How hard is it to find a dark-skinned indigenous Hawaiian woman to play this role? It's not giving Nani, and people are upset about that. It's not that hard to cast what people actually look like and are supposed to be in animated movies, etc.
This you?
Ariel is a fish, so her race does not matter. She could play by any actress, and it wouldn't impact her story.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. Let me get this straight. So your beef is not that she's not an indigenous Hawaiian woman. Your beef is that she's not
dark enough
to match the cartoon. Were you under the impression that indigenous native Hawaiian people were black? Because they're not. They're a lot closer to being Asian. They're actually Pacific Islanders. And if you knew anything about what Pacific Islanders look like, you'd know the girl that they cast is pretty on point. You have no issue completely erasing gingers, and this was their opportunity to have representation. You people took that from them.
What do you mean, you people?
Now you have an issue because a native Hawaiian character played by a native Hawaiian character is not black enough for you.
Make it make sense.
Let me just get this straight. In the last few years, a biological male has been named Woman of the Year on several magazine covers. A biological male is referenced as a top-ranking female in our White House. A biological male was named the NCAA Women's Swimmer of the Year. A biological male is making tens of thousands of dollars being the face of womanhood for Nike, for Tampax, for Bud Light, for Kate Spade, and countless other companies. A biological male took home the award for Best Actress at the Golden Globes. Are we really still trying to make the case that feminism supports women when the feminists are completely silent and or cheering on biological men taking over the space of women? Somebody spell this out for me.
Colin Kaepernick says he knows his white adopted parents loved him, but they were very problematic things that occurred during his upbringing. Do we have the video of that?
What's the problematic thing?
Do you have the video, Taylor? Play the video of this, Taylor.
Oh, your hair's not professional. Oh, you look like a little thug.
Your mom said that to you.
Yeah. And those become spaces where it's like, okay, how do I navigate this situation now? But it also is informed why I have my hair long today.
Oh my God. A parent didn't like their kid's haircut. Never has happened in history. Welcome to being a child and having parents.
As a black man who used to be a black boy, black teenager, when I had an afro and I was getting cornrows and stuff, same thing happened to me.
Same thing happened.
And I don't have white parents.
Oh my God.
I have a black mom and a black dad who did not like that, especially when I started wearing Chuck Taylors and Snoop Dogg had that murder case.
You know, the Kaepernick, he's great with making a stand, but I think the woke mob has gotten to his mind and poisoned him. Where he thinks his parents imparting life lessons onto him is racist, is problematic. This is why you show your disrespect to the people who pretty much raised you. Where you don't see how you are actually treating the people who pretty much, in a way, saved your life, right? Or at least saved it from, I don't know, something different. Where literally, I believe even black parents would, and these are maybe even, let's say, conservative black parents or parents that would think about your well-beings, would even say, you shouldn't dress like this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't have that, you know? It's a common thing. And this is why we're so individualistic, where we think that, oh, our feelings, our perspective, what we think is more important, where we're more about society, you know? It's a perception that people want to perceive. Let's say more conservative families or like white families or, you know, immigrants, they care about the collective view, right? The view of the community. So they hope that, okay, there's perspective, that there's an image you don't want to portray. And because that will hurt your image. And the image of, let's say, the group, you want to deviate from that. So let's say if he was, I don't know, his pants to his knees. Well, they would say something. They don't want you to portray that image because that's not helpful to you. That's not helpful for you in society, in business society, okay? That doesn't command respect. That's a lowbrow thing. So it's just funny that it sounds very disrespectful and just a slap in the face from the people who raised you and cared for you and pretty much take care of you. You are where you are right now because of your parents. Especially because they try to, provide for you, raise you properly, and do the best they can, not being abusive. And, the worst thing he's thinking about is like, they, stay by his cornrows? That's ridiculous. Crazy.
I will assume that you asked this question in a way that you really want to learn. So I will explain all the ways that it is okay.
From the beginning of this video, you can see the moral pedestal this guy puts himself on by saying, I'm assuming you want to learn by asking this question, is operating under the assumption that he has something to teach, which I don't think is true, but let's see.
Women. Well, if you're attracted to a woman, then you're attracted to cis women, trans women without bottom surgery, and trans women with bottom surgery.
You see, this is where gender ideology loses me as a gay man, or just a rational person. Essentially what he's saying is that if you're attracted to women, you're also attracted to trans women because trans women are women. And the answer to that is no, they're not women, they're trans women. I am gay because I am attracted to men, biological men. I'm not going to be attracted to a woman masquerading as a man. I did not fight to come out of the closet to now start dating women. It's cute that you guys want to erase being gay in the name of gender ideology, but if it was that easy for me to date a woman, I would have already been doing it.
Cleopatra's mother was Egyptian. Why don't talk about the mother? Well, that's a great question. First, there is just not much to talk about. We don't know who she was, so there is nothing to discuss. That's it. Second, it is not confirmed in any way that she was Egyptian. Actually, Cleopatra Traphaene is usually considered to be Cleopatra's mother, and not only she's Greek, she's also her father's cousin, so no Egyptians allowed. And even if, and that's a very big if, Cleopatra's mother was actually Egyptian, Egyptians are still not black. So there are two assumptions on your part, one of which is 100% wrong, and another is like 90% wrong. And third, most importantly, Cleopatra was involved in a fight for the throne against her brother Ptolemy. And if Cleopatra wouldn't look like the rest of the family, if her ethnicity or the purity of her lineage could be doubted, her political opponents most definitely would use it against her to deny her legitimate claim for the throne. But it never happened. Nobody ever accused Cleopatra of not being Greek, even though it will be very, very beneficial for her opponents. So I think it is very telling that you are presuming things about Cleopatra that even her worst enemies didn't dare to presume. Sometimes I think that you are more politically motivated than them. Thank you.
I'm glad crime never came to your mind, but a lot of people don't have that choice.
Everybody has a choice. Breaking the law doesn't automatically grant you some get out of poverty free card.
Because you could work a 9 to 5, make a couple $100 every other week. Or you could sell drugs, make a couple $100 a day. Like, if you're desperate, that's an easy choice.
Now, I wouldn't really call that an easy choice. There's this thing called risk versus reward. A lot of people get down on their luck, but me, hey, if I get down on my luck, I could go start a bank heist. I could go start my own Ocean's 11, rob a casino, but the reward will never be greater than the risk of giving my life away. And you just said they're probably desperate. They got a family, probably kids to take care of, or older people to take care of. If I'm what's holding my family up and I'm out here in the streets every day, risking being taken away from that family, wouldn't that make me a little bit selfish? And even without all that, do you realize that you're convincing young people, most likely young men, to become statistics?
We gotta stop treating these people like they committing crimes because they evil, out of malicious intent. People gotta survive.
If you break into my house at 3 a.m. because you got a family and you gotta get the money somehow, or you gotta get some food somehow, Well, I don't know that. All I know is there's an intruder in my house late at night and my family's upstairs. And I'm not waiting for a sob story before I start protecting my family. Intent will always exist, but in these situations, intent just doesn't matter. Never mind the fact that the people that are buying from you are probably going through their own struggles that you're just contributing to. Not only does that ruin lives, it ends them as well. You ain't innocent. If the streets were the right way, everybody would probably be doing it. And then we probably wouldn't even need the streets anymore. But the streets don't work like that. The streets run off of addiction. Addiction to making short-term money and addiction to whatever you're selling. We have the most powerful tool of opportunity in our hands right now. Stop teaching people that the streets are the only way, because you only get your own communities hurt.
What? Stop it, Diego. Yeah, no, we're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPs. No. Minor attracted persons. No. So don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old.
Members of the board, my name is Craig Schubert. I'm the mayor of this city. It has come to my attention that your educators are distributing essentially what is child pornography in the classroom. I've spoken to a judge this evening. She's already confirmed that. So I'm going to give you a simple choice. You either choose to resign from this Board of Education, or you will be charged. Thank you.
What has Black Lives Matter done for anybody, let alone black folks? What have they done? Have the condition of black people, according to them, have they gotten any better? No. Have the wealth of black people gotten any better since Black Lives Matter? No. You go down and name it. Black Lives Matter was nothing but a money grab. Billions of dollars given to that nonprofit organization. How many dollars you think went to George Floyd's family? Zero. How many dollars went to Ahmaud Arbery's family? Zero. I go down the list. They didn't give money to hardly any of these families. None. Zero. What did Patrisse Cullors do with that money? She went and bought her a mansion, a few of them. Where'd she buy it at? She bought it in the inner cities? No, she bought it where none but white people. But they supposed to be about black lives. These people are frauds, and they defrauded America. They burned down buildings, caused all this chaos, and in my opinion, based on all the things that I've seen, have had no results but division and hatred and chaos.